Alright, this is what I've been working on since about April. It is now November 25th. So it's a Pumicecrete building I'm going to use as a workshop, my saddle shop eventually. So anyway, I'll show you what it looks like on the inside. Here's the ceiling. I put a big log Viga in, and then just rough sawn boards for the ceiling, and you can see how that went together. Those are all beams from a local mill. So is the log and the rough sawn roofing as well. So, and I stained everything before I put it up. That made it a lot easier. It's kind of a pain if you try to sit up over your head. Now it's not finished inside, obviously. So, but this is what the walls look like. So, my wife calls it the big Rice Krispie treat. That's kind of what it looks like when you get kind of closer to it. That's just pumice, which is local around here. It's pretty cheap. Like all the walls in here cost me about $700 to put up, and it's just a mixture of Portland cement and this pumice and water. It was about a 5-gallon bucket of pumice to a decent rounded shovel of cement. So, and I'm going to build some doors and go on that big opening on this other side. But you can see if we mixed it and you pour it in forms, kind of like you're pouring like a foundation. You just keep building the forms, kind of like slip forming it up. So you can see where the lines in, that's where you stopped for a day, and then you come back and you poured more. So it looks kind of neat, but this will all be stuccoed on the outside. So, and my neighbor has a house like this. He built a house. I'm going to build a house like this eventually, but I wanted to kind of practice on a smaller building before you tackle an entire house. So I probably got about $5,000, I guess, something like that in there. I haven't really kept too good a track, so and I'll show you a little bit more on the outside. There's the forms that I use. They're just 2x4s and 1/2-inch plywood screwed together, and then you just stand them up opposite of each other and put them on. This is my off-grid homestead that I'm working on here. I've been working on it about 9 months, but here's the here's what it looks like underneath there. After I cut the tails, I got to come back and do a little more staining. When I go to build the house, I'm gonna stain the beams and everything before I put them up, because that is so much easier. I didn't stain the beams. I just stained all the roofing, and that was alright. But I mean, it took me probably 5 times as long to stain those beams as if they would have been on the ground. But I'd already had them up on the Viga. So, and it's kind of rough up there in the stucco right there. But we needed to get it done, and it was starting to freeze at night, so you can't put stucco on it, freezes. So we left it rough, and then this will get another coat. This is just a scratch coat. It will get a brown coat again, and then that'll help seal all up in there, up in between the rafters and outside again. And then I'll have a color coat on as well. So here's a shot of the roof overhang. So those boards just come off right off the roof. And then I took this 2x6 right there, and I screwed every board into that 2x6 to give it some rigidity so that they don't flex. And then I got a 2x6 fascia screwed into them as well, and I was standing on the edge, it doesn't flex at all. So, and then there's the log viga that sticks out. Now this board, you can see it's lighter. I ran out of stain and they didn't have the color anymore, so it won't be until Tuesday, so I'll have to come back next time and put that in. Then there's just this door, is what I had left over from another project. And then that big opening there, I'm going to build some board and batten doors, so I'll try to make my first real YouTube video and show you how to build those. But I've never built anything like this before, but I don't know. I can't remember how many yards I figured out it was, but there's a lot of yards when you're pouring it in a 5-gallon bucket at a time. So, and then there's a creek down there where you can see those trees. This is my place here that I'd bought in southern Colorado. And got a neat valley that goes out that way. I can ride my four-wheeler or drive my pickup just out my gate down there, and within about 3 miles I'm up into those mountains. They don't look like they're that big, but once you get up there, but I'm at 8,000 feet just right here. So, and I already had a well on this place, so that's part of why I bought it. It's right there in the middle. So, and then access to the creek, and there's fish. I've caught quite a few trout out of there. And there's beavers and deer and antelope and elk and everything else. There's a few other people who live down here. There's a cabin over there nobody lives in. That silver building isn't mine, but I have about 15 acres here. So, pretty neat place. Alright, thanks. That's a shot of it from a little ways away. I got to do a bunch of cleanup now. So, but I was in a hurry trying to get it dried in before it snows. Usually it's already snowing real bad here by now, but this year's been so dry. Probably going to be a bad year for water again. But what I did on the roof, just temporary till springtime, is I just put tar paper and rolled roofing down. And then what I will do is probably take some like 2x8s and build like a false roof, or not false, but an extra roof on top, and then that will be insulated, and then my pro panel metal roofing will go down over the top of that, so then the roof will be insulated. Right now it's not, but I'll put a wood stove in probably next time I get home, and we'll be good. Alright.